What's up, YouTube? Sorry for my inconsistency, but I'm back on now. With Smite. I play Smite quite a lot, as you can probably tell by that Morrigan montage I uploaded the other day. Yeah, it's probably going to be my most played game, so that's what my content is going to be about. Smite. If it's not Smite, then it'll probably be about Destiny. Yeah, Destiny 2 is coming out, so I'm kind of jumping back on that. But for now, it's just purely Smite. With this video, I'm just going to show you how I like to build my gods and the gods that I have ranked 10. I'm probably going to start off alphabetically, which would be Arachne. She's a single target assassin. She's pretty powerful. She's a great jungler. I find she's OP in Conquest, she's OP in Joust, she's just good everywhere. It depends really, because Joust is quite situational. You kind of want area of effect gods like Bacchus, Apoir, Zeus, Poseidon, people like that. Arachne's really single target, but for an assassin, she is quite tanky even without building any defense. I'll go into her abilities to start off. Well, she's got her Venomous Bite, which is probably her strongest move, I would say, which is her 1, or X if you're on console, or square if you're PlayStation. Yeah, I'm not gonna read through it, I'll let you read it yourself, but me explaining it quite shortly, she just bites in to the victim and she does tick damage over time, and it heals her at the same time. So in the middle of a fight, say you're going for someone specific and you're in the middle of a battle and you're getting focused, if you run out and quickly pop your X and attack a minion and leave, you'll be healing up while you're leaving or disengaging the fight, or you can just focus that target out and just heal while you're destroying them. Basically, it's probably I max out first because it is her strongest move. Her second ability, which is her stun, super handy, connected with her 3, which I'll go into, but her A, basically after 3 basic attacks she stuns her enemy, and it also gives her an attack speed buff, which you can see there. Yeah, super handy if you want to lock down someone, quickly grab on them, pop your 2 and they're stunned and you just beat them up with your 1. It's quite overpowered. Her 3 is basically, she shoots out webs of spiders, and if anyone that walks into the webs, her little minions like chase after them, leaving a trail. If she follows the trail on the path, it gives her movement speed bonus, allowing her to catch up to that god. So adjacent with her 2, no one can get away from her really. You just catch up, cocoon them, and give them a venomous bite, and they're dead within seconds depending on what you build. But yeah, her spiders do damage as well, which is quite handy. So not only are your enemies taking damage from Arachne herself, but they're taking damage from her spiders as well. Her ult, Nightcrawler, which is her 4, her ult, I would use that mostly for evasives. You can use it to engage or to kill an opponent, but mainly I use it to get away, to disengage, because it's CC immune, so you can't be stunned out or you can't really take damage. Well, you can take damage, but it'll happen once you land. She basically jumps up onto the seat, well, upside down on invisible webs. She just crawls away and lands on a target or lands away. Up to you. Her passive, which I've never actually read before, Arachne's basic attacks gain 1.5% physical damage for every 5% of the target's missing health. Wow, that's quite overpowered. So basically she gains a power buff every 5% of your target's missing health. So the more damage you do, well, the less health bar your opponent has, the more damage you do, which is quite crazy. But let's go into the build. Yeah, this is what I would build into her. Let me just discard it and I'll explain as I go along. Firstly, when I start games, depending on what I'm playing, if I'm going into a conquest game, I usually first pick up bombers, obviously because it's a jungling item. I go into tier 2 boots. A lot of people go into like Death's Toll or some people even go into Bluestone, but I don't think Bluestone's that great. Death's Toll's not too bad, but I feel it kind of slows down the process of building into her. So I go straight into 2-2 boots, which gives her the movement speed early game. And then I would buy 1 health, 1 mana, or 2 health, 2 mana. Just went right past it. Health pots aren't really much of a necessity with her because obviously she's got her 1, which gives her lifesteal. But my core build, after I've gone into boots, which is warrior tabby, not ninja tabby, I don't feel she needs too much attack speed because of what I'm going to build into later. But straight after boots, I go into Heartseeker because Heartseeker's pretty powerful at the moment. I think it's even in her popular. Oh no, doesn't want to show. But yeah, I go straight into Heartseeker. I'm going to just get rid of that. Straight into Heartseeker. Heartseeker basically, every 5 basics you deal, the next ability that you activate does 100% of your target's damage. I'll quickly show you so you can read that for yourself. Yeah, there you go. Every successful basic attack gives you 1 stack. At 5 stacks, your next ability deals bonus damage equal to 100% of your physical power on the first enemy god hit. It gives her movement speed and 10 penetration. Penetration early game is pretty good, considering no one really has defense in the beginning of the game. 25 power isn't much, but once the passive kicks in, it really does do a lot of damage early game. And it works with her 1, which gives off tick damage, so if you pop your 1 and hit a target and you've got your max stacks, it will do basically double damage. So you'll do double tick, which is kind of not Boombas, kind of how Bluestone works with extra ticking, but it's much stronger than Bluestone. So yeah, after that I would go into, if you want more movement speed, which some people do because movement speed is quite strong on her, I would go into Stonecutter, but personally I go into Quinn's Size next because with movement speed of boots and Heartseeker, you're fast enough early game. I'll go into Quinn's Size. That's 40 physical power, 15 attack speed, and it deals 4% of your target's maximum health with every basic attack. So if you notice, like, Guardians are quite hard to tear down with all their defenses, and mages that build into Warlock Sash, they're quite irritating to shred down. Quinn's Size is just a complete killer for people that are healthy and got a lot of max health. It shreds a lot. Like, it kills Guardians pretty quickly. At end game build, you literally shred anyone, absolutely anyone. So I'd go into that. Alongside that, I would then go into Stonecutter, which gives me even more movement speed and 50 power. Once I find it. Yeah, so it gives me 50 power, an extra 10% movement speed, and melee basics attacks decrease enemies' physical protections by 10% and increase your physical protections by 10. So if you're going against an enemy jungler, every basic attack you do gives you an extra 10 protections against them and decreases their protections. So you kind of like replace their protections, shred their protections and increase your own protections, which is quite good if you want to box out a jungler. And plus, with all the movement speed, if your jungler is out leveling you or stronger than you, you should be able to get away with all this movement speed and Arachne's kit as well. After that, really, it's situational or however you like to build. I personally, if you're feeling like you're getting destroyed quite a lot, which doesn't really happen much because she's quite overpowered, I would go into a defense. The defense that I personally go into, for Conquest anyway, I would go into Spirit Robe, purely because it gives 40 magical and physical protections, and it gives crowd control reduction, which is very beneficial in Conquest with Guardians, with a lot of CC, mages with CC. It helps a lot, and if you haven't got beads, which is probably the most crucial relic for a jungler, it just helps out. So I would go into that. I'm not going to build it yet because I don't go into defense straight away. I tend to go into defense when I feel that it's late games come and mages are just too bursty for me to be able to single out. But I would go into Executioner next. Yeah, Executioner, another protection shredding item. Kills tanks, kills anyone, and it gives Arachne that extra bit of attack speed and that extra bit of power. If you're wondering why I don't go into lifesteal, I feel that Arachne's 1 gives enough lifesteal to sustain most battles. If you're in a team fight, then you should be picking your targets and who you're fighting. You shouldn't be just jumping straight into the middle of a team fight and trying to single out someone, because you'll get burst down and killed. She's a type of god that comes round the back or from the sides and just picks off a target one by one. Mainly going for people that irritate your team the most. So I would say mages, because they deal a lot of damage. Hunters, the backlining team fighters are the ones that Arachne should be singling out and focusing on. So yeah, after Executioner, if you don't want to go into a defense, I like to go into, personally, a little bit of counter heal. Most of the time it's Brawler's Beat Stick, again for that little bit more penetration and just counter healing people. I find it quite handy if you're in a team where your team doesn't really like to buy counter heal and you got like a Sylvanas on your enemy team or a Ra in mid on the enemy team. You want to be able to stop them from counter healing. If you don't want that extra bit of power and penetration and you want to go more into attack speed, I would go into Witchblade, which also reduces healing and gives Arachne a bit more movement speed and some extra health. But yeah, I personally go into Brawler's Beat Stick for that extra bit of power. And then that would be my finalized build on all damage. That's what I would go into. But yeah, if I had to swap out one of them for a defense, I'd probably swap out Brawler's Beat Stick, pick up Spirit Robe, and tell my Guardian or my solo lane to pick up a Pestilence if lifesteal is really that much of an issue. But yeah, that's how I build Arachne. To finish off, I'll go into her ability builder. To start off the game, in Conquest, I'm mainly focusing on Conquest because that's the main game mode that everybody plays. But I would start off with my web just to help out the mid lane or wave clear. I would go into Venomous Bite just for more power and the lifesteal. Obviously Cocoon just to make sure that everything's online. I got all my kit. Then after that I would focus out Venomous Bite as much as possible. And wherever the ult is, sorry, let me go back one. Wherever the ult's able to be upgraded, I'll go into it, because although I'm not using it mainly to kill people, I need to level it up for the cooldown. The cooldown is very important. It helps get you out of them little situations that you would use your relics for. If you don't want to use a relic or your relic's on cooldown, you got your ult to save you and get you out of the situation. But yeah, back to focusing Venomous Bite, it really does do a lot of damage, and you can see, like, as you level it up at max level 150 plus 35 of your physical damage per tick. Well, no, sorry, 50 per tick plus 10%, and then the initial damage 150 plus 35. That's a lot of damage. Plus with Heartseeker, it basically doubles that. It's ridiculous. But once I've maxed out Venomous Bite, I go into my web, not my Cocoon. Cocoon is good for that stun duration, but where Arachne is so bursty with the Venomous Bite at this point, you don't really need to stun people down that long, and web allows you to catch up to your enemies. Say if you didn't build all the movement speed that I've built into and you're quite slow and you've got people that get away quite quickly, your webs will help you catch up regardless, because it gives you that movement speed and it slows down your enemies. 40% movement speed is quite a lot, and plus the 6 seconds slow on your enemy at max level, it helps. It definitely helps, and it's 25% slow, so you're able to catch up really quickly. And then if you hit the Venomous Bite plus your spider minions that do damage as well, they do 60 damage per hit, and they hit a couple times and they last quite a while unless they're killed or taken out. It does help. But yeah, I'd finish maxing that out after Venomous Bite, of course. Go back to ult, back to web, and then I'll max out my Cocoon and my ult to finish off. And that's pretty much how I build Arachne. Thanks for watching. If you feel that I've dragged on too long. You can tell me to shut up in the comments. If you feel there's other items that you reckon that's better to build, or the way I level up the god, just put it in the comments. Feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
You have slain an enemy. Double kill. Triple kill.
Yes, we can.
Attack! Your team has destroyed a middle enemy tower.
You have slain an enemy. Killing spree. Unstoppable.